Hello, it's Mr. Bush here with Science Time. Today we're going to be going over the three subatomic particles and basically their mass, their location, and their electronic charge. So let's go ahead and look at those three. Alright, please write down protons, neutrons, and electrons on a piece of paper. Now, our protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus. I'm going to go ahead and put a circle on that real quick. Alright, the nucleus is located at the center of the atom, and once again it has protons and neutrons. Now, our electrons are found orbiting around the nucleus in this area called the electron cloud. I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow for that real quick. Alright, and basically the electron cloud is an area that has a bunch of electrons orbiting the nucleus. They orbit around really fast, almost at the speed of light, which creates a almost a blurry effect, kind of like a fan, which is why they call it the electron cloud. Alright, now please copy this down by where you wrote down protons, neutrons, and electrons. Let's first look at protons. The three things you need to know about them is they have a charge of a positive, or positive 1. Their mass is 1, and their location is the nucleus. Alright, now neutrons, they have a charge of 0. I do want to emphasize that. Most kids get them confused with being negative. They actually have a charge of 0. Their name comes from neutral. Their mass is also 1, and they are found in the nucleus. So the only real difference between our protons and our neutrons are neutrons have no charge, while protons have a positive charge. Now, our electrons, basically they have a negative charge. They have a mass that's almost 0. It's very tiny. We don't even bother measuring it. And they orbit the nucleus, or you could say it's the electron cloud. Alright, if y'all see there, I went ahead and crossed out orbitals. Even though the electrons do orbit the nucleus, it's often referred to as our electron cloud. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to how we use the periodic table to find out basically information about the protons, neutrons, and electrons of any given element. On the periodic table, every element has an atomic number and an atomic mass labeled. If you get confused on the ones that you're provided for the STAR test, the atomic mass and the atomic number are labeled in like the little square that has silicon up at the top. Also, a good way to think of it is atomic mass is massive, and it's always going to be the larger number that often has decimals. The atomic number is always going to be a whole number and typically less than the atomic mass. Alright, go ahead and jot that down real quick. Go ahead and label the atomic number and the atomic mass, and then we're going to discuss what they mean. Alright, an atomic number is the number of protons. That's what gives the element its actual identity. Now, the atomic mass, basically to find that, you have to remember that only protons and neutrons had any mass. So the mass of an atom has to be your protons plus your neutrons. Alright, so just to recap on that, basically the atomic mass, you just add your number of protons plus neutrons, and that'll give you the atomic mass. Alright, now let's look how to find basically the electrons, protons, and neutrons of any element on the periodic table. Alright, protons are really simple. It's basically you find the atomic number, and that is the number of protons. Now, neutrons are just a little bit more complex, but pretty simple once you know how to find them. Alright, the first step is to round the atomic mass, and it basically just rounds the same way anything in math does. 5 or above rounds up, 4 and below rounds down. Alright, then you take the number of protons and you subtract that, and what's left over has to be your neutrons, because if you remember, you can only get mass from protons and neutrons. Alright, and there's the example. Basically, you take the atomic mass, which rounded up to 19, subtract it by your 9 protons, and that will give you 10 neutrons. Alright, hopefully this is helpful. It was very helpful for you, and y'all have a great day.